Boerwinkle. Welcome to the Oklahoma Unions podcast.
Thank you.
I am Bronte.
Tim.
Okay, so you are the new young female president of the AFT 4574 Local. Tell us about that.
So, there's not really a lot to tell. I mean, I was elected as president last year in April.
Okay.
And I started doing the job in June.
Okay.
So I've been doing it officially 1 year now.
Very cool.
And what were you doing before that?
I was a library assistant in Oklahoma City Public Schools.
And you were a union member there?
Oh, yeah, from like the week after I got hired.
Oh.
How long has that been? Since you've worked for the schools?
Since, oh goodness, I started in 3.5 years because I started at a different job and then I hated it, so I left.
I get that. So how did you climb the ranks of your union and get more and more involved, I assume?
So I got, at the school I was working at,
right.
The previous paraprofessional union rep, which is what what our union represents as paraprofessionals and support staff. The previous one of my school retired.
Okay.
And everybody knew I was a member of AFT. So a couple of people's names got put on the voting roster.
Okay.
And because my name was on there, I'm pretty sure I abstained. But I won.
Cool.
So in the school, and then I was the in-school building rep, so I reached out to AFT, like the actual main office.
Like the Oklahoma AFT?
No,
International?
the original people before I was in.
Okay. I don't know if we'd call them original. The previous administration.
The previous administration.
Yeah. Okay.
When I reached out to them, talked to them about it, I guess I took a liking to me during an e-board meeting that I was invited to.
Okay.
And I got invited to the Labor and Friends banquet.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then I just, kept going to e-board events, and then they put me in as a parliamentarian.
Okay. And then here you are. I remember the outgoing president. Your name was thrown around, and here you are.
When the previous president retired, there was a couple of different people, and, it ended up coming down to me.
Yep.
And so I got voted in.
Very nice. And I'm glad. I mean, we're good friends. So.
I mean, that's true.
Yes. So, okay. So you said paraprofessionals, support staff. Who are those exactly? Because this is not... So AFT is the American Federation of Teachers.
Yeah.
And I know 2309 are the teachers.
Mm-hmm. Certified staff.
Certified staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 4574, your local are...
We do bus drivers, we do maintenance, we do custodial, we do clerical, we do office staff, we do in-class paraprofessionals, we have the some of the translators are paraprofessionals.
Okay.
The ELL assistants.
Okay.
We have a lot of different positions that fall under our umbrella.
So everybody that makes the staff or the school run.
Pretty
Besides,
much.
like, management, which are what? Principals?
Principals, assistant principals.
Okay.
I think admin interns are 2309s.
Okay, yeah. Wow. So that's everybody.
Yeah.
Much. Okay. And you're the entire Oklahoma City Metro?
No, Oklahoma City Public Schools specifically.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
We are the only authorized union to bargain with Oklahoma City Public Schools.
that. Oh, okay. Do you know how long your union's been affiliated with?
Affiliated.
Well, not really the council, but like established as a union, I should say.
I know we were LIUNA in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, I have all of our old contracts that I've been trying to go through to try to figure out when things were added in, when things were taken, what was going on, like, in the world to cause that thing to be needed to change.
Right.
It's a lot of work, and I do that in my free time a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we were LIUNA for a while. We were something else, and I can't remember the name. And then we were AFT.
Okay. Very good. Very cool, very cool. So, what would you say are some unique challenges of...
One of the unique challenges of, my position is that people don't really respect the support staff. And it's really hard to get administrators and teachers to understand that we're support staff. We aren't your servants.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of my members feel. Like, even my bus drivers have said they don't feel respected. And these kids wouldn't get to school without the bus drivers.
Right.
These kids wouldn't get fed without the school nutrition group.
Right.
That's the group I was missing earlier. School nutrition.
Okay.
So that's everybody that feeds the kids.
Right.
And, it's just more respect for people that aren't directly teachers.
Right.
Because, your kids wouldn't get to school or be fed at school or even be enrolled.
Right. Without
support staff.
I think the other thing about your local is it's a lower, it's generally a lower paid positions than what you'd think, in the public schools. And I know over the years, my involvement with your local, those have been big issues over the years. But, your contract stuff is how do you bring those wages up to a decent level?
And you're absolutely right on that. We are working on making it so our people are not paid below living wage.
Right.
We are working on getting people up to a living wage because a lot of my members have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to live.
Right.
And I don't mean, or I would say survive.
Right.
Not thrive, not live, but have enough for medicine, food, shelter.
Well, they say the average citizen is 3 paychecks away from homelessness.
Correct.
So
I did a lot of research on that when I was put in charge of figuring out how to bargain for this group. I went to a lot of seminars on that. Read through the MIT research on how much a household needs to earn hourly to make a living wage versus a poverty wage versus starvation wage.
Right.
And according to that, in the state of Oklahoma, our minimum wage is a starvation wage.
Right. That's horrific to hear. But, so I do know that the paraprofessional, your local in particular, is not spoken at the same time as like teachers, and I'll expand on that. Like, I know teachers are heavy at the Capitol. Is there anything that we should know to be able to help the paraprofessionals?
So, we're hourly. We can't afford to take off to go to the Capitol. I go there as often as I can, but I have to be there for my members first. And it's just me and one other person in our office. Yeah. It's just the 2 of us. And so, the teachers have a big presence out there. They have their Teacher Tuesdays. Sometimes we tag along on Teacher Tuesdays.
But it'd be hard to balance all of that.
Yeah, and it's hard to justify for individuals losing part of their paycheck.
Right.
Yes, I obviously will put them on union leave, which means up to a certain point, the district and I have agreed that they will still be paid.
Right.
But some of the people that want to go up there don't want to go as union members. They want to go as staff of the school. And I know that's a weird distinction to make, but it's politics in the workplace, and union is one thing, but we can't bring politics in.
Right.
I can't bring someone in to explain how
the
policy
work.
How policy is made, how laws are made. I can't bring someone in to do that.
Right.
I could do that separately off of a school location. But
so what do you think are the biggest challenges to, I don't know, I would say either being a union president or representing this diverse group of members, because you have everybody.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the big things is I have to balance knowing rules for a lot of different groups, and I still don't have them all learned.
Right.
I have to learn as I go for some groups, because there are some groups that I've never been called to defend.
Right.
Never been called on. They're just going along. But other groups, they call me on a lot. So, like, I'm learning a lot about different things in maintenance. I'm learning a lot about how systems work in the office.
Right.
I'm learning how the cafeteria runs.
Right.
So one of the biggest difficulties for me is, personally, learning what each position does down to the smallest details.
Right. Well, I do know you're one of the only locals that has a bilingual, what I call a representative, somebody who actually works in your office and has their own, what would you even call that? Amparo?
Mm-hmm. Amparo?
Yeah, Amparo. She, she has her own districts, does she not, because of Southside?
Oh, I mean, no, we split schools, so she does half and I do half.
Okay.
And we traded some of our schools recently
Mm-hmm.
to make it so it was less of a hassle for her to drive places.
Okay.
But, I mean, yeah, we do have someone who speaks fluent Spanish in our office.
Right.
I would have died my first year without Miss Amparo.
Okay.
Would not have made it.
Right.
We are working on getting a position on the board, which we have it open, which don't have it filled, for an ELL rep.
Okay.
So that would be someone who knows what's happening in that department that can bring me those issues.
Okay. Interesting. Do you have any questions for Ashley?
Nope. Keep moving.
Okay. So, do you have anything that you're particularly passionate about?
So do you mean personally or within the unions?
Let's go unions first and then let's dive into personal.
Okay. So with unions, I did a lot of college work
Mm-hmm.
on the 60s and 70s, which was when a lot of union things were happening.
That's true.
And like my mom was union.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I joined the union, so when I joined the district, I obviously joined the union.
Right.
Because why wouldn't I?
Right. It's in your blood.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just even that it's in my blood. It's just that it's a smart decision. Because if a principal takes a hatred to me, I want to know that there's someone behind me. So I am really passionate about trying to make it so my people have a living wage.
Right.
So they don't have to work 2 jobs. That is something I have been dealing with for a year now. So 2 cycles of negotiation in trying to get them to agree to go up. But with state funding the way it is, there's no money for support staff.
So,
Because things get earmarked for teachers and furniture and buildings and SNS. They don't get earmarked for paraprofessionals.
okay. I was going to ask that. So, when the teachers get a raise put forth by the state legislators, does that trickle down at all?
Absolutely not.
It just has to be a separate line item.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not being addressed.
And it's failed every year since it's been put up. Every year it dies.
Have you noticed more aggression towards paraprofessionals since the teacher walkout in 2018? Or are they just so different in the minds of the legislators that there's not that overlap?
I don't think the legislators understand that we exist. I'll be quite honest. They know teachers exist, because everybody knows teacher, but the legislators don't think about secretaries. The legislators don't think about who's feeding and getting the kids to school. We had the Yellow Bus Act go through and fail immediately. Did not even get into its out of its little first area.
Okay, yeah.
Died immediately, which is ridiculous.
Right.
Because, these bus drivers get our kids to school. They make sure they get home. Sometimes these bus drivers are the first and last friendly faces a kid sees in a day. And so, looping back to, have I seen more hostility, you said, towards paraprofessionals? No, I've seen more indifference. And that's coming from someone who grew up in this district.
Right.
That's coming from someone who, my mom was a principal in this district. There is a growing indifference to paraprofessionals. And I want to say it's getting better, but it gets better in some schools, and then in others it's still paraprofessionals are servants.
Right. Interesting. I'm just to me, what you're saying is, like, you're just needing to bring more awareness to the paraprofessionals, not only for, like, increased benefits, such as increased wages, but just as, like, a livelihood, like, who they are as people and how they're being treated. Because every time we talk personally, or we're talking now, I always flash to, like, hospitals and how the cleaning crews at hospitals, if they stopped, the hospitals would shut down. And it's the same thing with schools. If the cafeteria stopped, if the staff stopped, schools would shut down. And they're
actually, fun fact, if a cafeteria has to shut down, kids have to go home or they get sent to separate schools.
Yeah.
At least that's what used to happen. I don't know if that still happens.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a cafeteria go down since I started being president. So, but yeah, it is like that. There wouldn't be air conditioning without our HVAC guys. There wouldn't be plumbing without our plumbers. Mm-hmm. There's so many things we would be without if they just decide they don't want to work for no respect anymore.
Right. So how could we or other union members help?
So, for those of you that have kids, when you go to parent-teacher conference, just try to be kind to the paras that have to guide you to the classrooms, or that have to translate, or that are running, like, a little school store. Because a lot of times, a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
Right.
The tiniest bit of kindness goes a long way with paraprofessionals.
Interesting.
At least it did for me. Right. I shouldn't speak for every single person.
Right.
But there's Teacher Appreciation Day. But there's also a lot of appreciation days for different positions. There's Bus Driver Appreciation Day. There's Support Staff Appreciation Day. There is Secretaries Day, I believe.
Oh yeah, we know about
administrative.
Yeah, administrative assistants. There's all kinds of dates, and, just maybe don't just give teachers things during that time. Remember that there's other staff too.
Yeah.
During teacher week, there's other staff that exist.
Right.
And most of the time, they don't get much more than as one of my members told me last year, they said good job, and then gave the teacher stuff. So, just try to treat them with respect when you're working in the schools. And, for those of us that are working in the Capitol, or that work with legislatures, or politicians in general, or city councilmen, just remember, paraprofessionals don't get... If the money's sent to schools, if it's not specifically earmarked for paraprofessional, it's not going to go to paraprofessionals.
Interesting.
It's going to go into the Title I, or not Title I funding, sorry, Title I's federal, that's not my business. It's going to go into the school maintenance fund, it's going to go to the teachers, it's going to go to administrative salaries, it's going to go to extra supplies, it's going to go to updating technology, it's going to go tiny bit to support staff.
Right.
But
I mean, the bottom line is public schools are underfunded.
I mean, yeah.
Politically. I'm not politically, but totally underfunded until they, in my mind, until they get serious about funding for public education. That kind of stuff is going to keep festering. And I've tried over the years, when I've visited a neighborhood school or something, we used to help do some stuff with Capitol Hill and stuff, and I always tried to be kind and good to everybody, even the support staff in there. But I agree with you. More parents and stuff could be a little more, just throw them an okay sign or something.
Just give them a little wave.
Yeah.
Tell them thank you.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Don't curse them out. It's not their fault your kid's failing. It's it's their teachers and your kids.
Yeah.
You can't blame the paraprofessional in the hallway.
Right. And you shouldn't. So how have you noticed the union improving the lives of paraprofessionals versus those that have chosen not to be in the union?
So we are able to defend our members from disciplinary actions a lot harder than, and they don't have to pay for a lawyer.
Okay.
So let's say, I don't want to accidentally bring up something I've actually dealt with because these people deserve privacy, but...
Right. Hypothetical situation with Jim and Jane.
Yeah. So, hypothetical situation, principal writes up a paraprofessional.
Okay.
The paraprofessional says, I didn't do this. And it's not a verbal reprimand, it's a full write-up. This paraprofessional has never had to write anything on their record before. Principal skips straight. Technically, you're not supposed to do that. There are exemptions, but you're really not supposed to just skip straight up.
Right.
So, you know, a lot of times that kind of thing, it can get removed. Or, let's say, paraprofessional's been put on administrative leave, which means they don't go on the school sites. They stay home until whatever investigation's happening. We are there throughout the entire process of them being on administrative leave and are able to poke at the district and be like, hey, what's going on here?
Right.
Hey, can you give us some information about what's going on?
Move the process faster.
Yeah, we can kind of poke it along and make sure you don't have to just stay.
Right.
Because when you're on administrative leave, you still have to be available during your work hours from Oklahoma City Public Schools. So.
Okay, I want to pivot a little bit. As a young female leader, how do you think you can grow your union?
So we've all been doing a lot of outreach with our locals, or not locals, with our school sites. And sometimes it goes well, and sometimes there's the old guard that, you know, unions are bad, you can't trust unions.
Right.
And so, I mean, it depends on it really does depend if it's all new staff or if there is old guard there.
Okay.
And I say old guard because they've worked in the district a long time.
Right.
And they think because they've never needed help with disciplinary matters or their principal didn't try to overstep their contract, why bother?
Right.
But one of the things that is really important about being in a union, specifically this union, is the fact that having more members means we can put more pressure on the district to actually do...
Strength in numbers.
Yeah, it's strength in numbers. It's what we're supposed to be.
Yep.
And the more members we have, the more likely we can get better raises.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's a difference in walking out to 3 people and walking out to a crowd of 100 or 200.
Right.
And one of the things we've done to increase is we did a cookie thing. I say that. We did a appreciation where we made cookie bags and we took them to every member.
Right.
Made sure every member got one because we wanted them to know, hey, we appreciate you.
Right.
Shortly after that, we got like 8 people joining us.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, because they saw that we are actually outreaching to them and trying to make a difference.
Okay.
Of course, they've had to deal with a right to work situation forever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Us in industrial unions and private sector have only had to deal with it since 2001. So it's a different. I've learned it was a different way of dealing with things when you had everybody that was required to join, opposed to with the new right to work law, because it turns your attention more to servicing than maybe you would have done in a I don't want to say closed shop, but an industrial union, you know, before right to work. So it's something that you can build on, you know, and if you're doing the right things and you're getting out and seeing your folks and whatever, I mean, you know, the internal organizing that you have to do, it's probably easier
Yeah.
You know, but if you go out there once a year and say, hey, join up, you know, and they haven't seen you or heard from you in a year, you know, it's going to be hard to
And
get those
we're
numbers.
trying to be better about that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it is hard to get to every
Right.
work site. Because both of us have 35 work sites we have to get to.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I've sympathized with public employee unions for
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Which is what I was going to say, is public employee unions are run a bit different than private are.
Yeah.
And then the education ones are run even a little bit different from public.
Firefighter,
Yeah.
you know, police, that kind of stuff.
Firefighter, police, city workers.
City workers.
We run a little bit different than they do, too.
Interesting. Okay. Well, what is the final message that you want the community or your members to know?
I'm going to keep working on making sure we have a living wage for our members. Because I don't want to have my members call United Way.
Right.
Because they can't afford something.
Right.
I will always make sure that they can get the resources they need if they call me.
Right.
And they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Try to be kinder to paraprofessionals too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, again, it's not the office staff's fault that your kid threw up. Or that he scraped his knee. Or that she has lice or he has lice. It's not the office's fault for that. Just try to be a little bit more compassionate to support staff specifically, you know, in general. But I want people to know that I am going to keep fighting for my bargaining unit, not even just my members, my bargaining unit, to make sure that they don't have to make a decision between groceries and rent.
Right.
And you know, you always had the support of the rest of the labor movement here locally.
I'm thinking we need to do a professional week of appreciation.
I thought you said they already did that.
No, they haven't throughout the year.
Yeah, they're throughout the year.
Oh, okay.
So I can check with OKCPS, or not OKCPS. Actually, they might have it on their calendar. I will double check, because I know I have it written down somewhere when Paraprofessional is this year.
Yeah.
Because, you know, anything to show them that people remember they exist too.
Right. What I'm saying is maybe we can tackle some of those 70, you said?
Yeah, about 70
About
sites.
70 sites where we
Well,
can hand out
We'll
goodies
have to figure that out.
Yeah, these are just ideas.
Well,
These are just spitballing.
I don't want to
Let's do
interview.
those.
I don't want to interfere in anything
You're all
locally.
about the game plan,
I like to be
Tim.
asked.
This is a game plan.
If they need something, they can always
Yeah.
ask for us. But you know, but I appreciate you coming in today and some of the other younger folks that are coming in to do these podcasts, because you know, you guys are the future of this labor movement locally and in the state, and I want to help support that in any way that we can at the Labor Council. And me personally, as a nearly 70-year-old man, I'm looking for people to start stepping up and doing some of these things. I know you're on the state AFL-CIO executive board now.
And
For now,
And
I mean,
you're
we
on
got
our-
to do the elections and stuff coming up.
Well, yeah, okay, but
I mean,
and
we
then
got
with
to
the-
follow due process.
Yeah, and then you know, you've been on the Labor Council's board for
a year.
at least the time
Yeah.
you've been president. So
A year,
yeah, so
3 months.
and you know, and that's at least from the Labor Council standpoint. That's what I'm looking for when some of our longtime serving members get to a point where they're retiring. I hope they can replace them or somebody with somebody younger, and have not that I'm discriminating against old folks, but
Yeah.
but you know, something to help build this thing, because
We got to keep it moving. We got to keep the momentum going.
I'm not going to be here forever.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, we can't stop.
Right.
Just because the older groups are getting older does not mean we can stop.
Right.
We have to keep fighting, because if we don't fight, no one will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you were one of the young ones, and I bet you have received some pushback, but how do you think we can get the younger generation to be as active as you are?
I mean, that's a little bit hard, because for me, I got a lot of pushback for being a young and being a woman.
Right.
I got a lot of pushback.
Right.
And for young women in specific trying to get through this, you kind of just gotta harden your spine and not listen to anything the old guard says to you.
Yeah.
You do your own research. You listen to what they say. You write it down. You do your own research and make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah.
And if you know what you're doing, no matter what they say, you will be able to know that you have done this correctly.
I like it.
And that's really important. Like, if you want to get involved in the movement, reach out to someone, because, I know the COLF board has younger people.
Right.
And so you can always connect younger people to other unions that are similar. I bet the AFL-CIO could probably do it. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
Right.
But, I mean, reach out. If you want to start being more active, but you don't know how to start or where to start or what to do, reach out to your local. And if your local says no, well, I guess reach out to someone else. I don't quite know what you would do if you...
I like this, planning and perseverance.
Yeah. A lot of it is planning. A lot of it is, okay, so I'm a woman.
Right.
What you gonna do about it?
Right.
Oh no, I'm young. What a crime. A lot of times it's just comments like that going back when they make catty comments about you being a young woman.
Right. Yep. No, I've suffered those. Tim, you've not suffered those before, have you?
Being a young woman? No, I have not. I have not. But I was young once in the labor movement. I started in the labor movement when I was about 25 years old. And been involved ever since when we first organized out at Dayton Tire. So, and I've always made those statements over the years. When I was first in this thing, I was one of the youngest guys going to committee meetings or meetings, whatever, and then keep going to these same meetings over the years. And some of those meetings I go to today, even I'm still one of the younger guys in there, and I'm going, something is wrong here, and it needs to be fixed quick.
That is one thing I do appreciate about my predecessor.
Yep.
My predecessor pushed to make sure the younger group had a chance.
Yep.
And he very much fought for the younger group to have a chance.
Yep. I agree.
And so that is one thing I can say. It was very admirable to realize it was time to step down and retire. And, that's that.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ashley, for being on the Oklahoma Unions podcast. So something we do is we allow our guests to name this episode. What would you like to name it?
Pay paraprofessionals.
Okay, we'll take it.
I mean, that's my main goal here, is for paraprofessionals to get paid.
Okay.
So.
Or maybe a living wage for paraprofessionals.
There you go.
Pay paraprofessionals.
Something like that.
We'll workshop it, but I like the general idea.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
So, just for our podcast listeners, we are in the process of getting several of these podcasts up and going, and we'll be sending out links before long about where you can get the podcast from, and then as soon as we're doing this on video as well, so whenever we get that ready, we'll be putting that up on some of our social media stuff, and we'll make everybody as aware as we can about that opportunity. So
video will be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then audio will be on podcasting platforms.
And we'll be covering a lot of different subjects.
Up next, we have Lynn Green with AFT, the other AFT, the 2309, and he also has an interest in union history. And then I've got a couple other people. I've got another young woman on the schedule. Thank you again for
Yeah.
coming on the Oklahoma Unions podcast.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.